Are you wondering why you might need a realtor to help you with your new home purchase? After all, Zillow has all the information. How hard can it be? I'll just go knock on some doors and start a conversation with a homeowner, right? Or will I be taking a risk? Do I need a lawyer? In this video, I'm going to share the risks of buying a house without using a realtor, and really the top 5 reasons that it even might make sense not to use a realtor.
What, are you crazy?
So let's get started. Many buyers often believe that sellers will give them a discount because they will save money on commissions. And that's not a bad idea, and of course that does happen. However, it won't necessarily save you any money. In most situations, the seller pays the commission for both the buyer and the seller's agents at closing. But there might be situations in which it works to your advantage to go it alone in the home buying process. Let's look at 5 reasons to consider when buying a home without a realtor. According to the National Association of Realtors, about 88% of buyers do work with a real estate agent. However, there are scenarios in which buying a home without an agent may be preferred. Number 1, maybe you're related to the seller. If you're buying a home with your family, you might be able to avoid hiring a real estate agent. As long as you've agreed on a price and other key details, you likely could handle it without the seller having to pay several thousands of dollars in commission. I would consider, though, consulting a lawyer to conduct a title search on the home and make sure that all the paperwork is filled out, reviewed, and filed correctly. Number 2, you know the area. When you're buying a house in an area in which you're intimately familiar, you might not believe it's worth hiring a buyer's agent. However, there are many different services that a real estate agent can provide you than just knowing the market and showing pretty little houses. Some of these services might include referring you to other reliable professionals such as building contractors, inspectors, mold mitigators, structural engineers, radon mitigators, and many more. You could save money. For example, maybe someone who is selling a home as a for sale by owner might make it really clear in the Zillow listing that they are not willing to negotiate with a buyer's agent. In this case, you might decide it's worth trying to work directly with the person selling the home instead of hiring an agent. Number 4, you get to work alone. You might not trust dealing with a buyer's agent, even though they are legally required to represent your best interests. If you feel like you can't trust an agent because of a previously bad experience or something else, you might feel way more comfortable taking it on yourself. You will want to be careful, though. If you end up dealing with the seller's real estate agent, who is hired by the seller to represent the seller's best interests and not yours, think of it like negotiating a divorce settlement with just the counsel and the expertise of the other party's lawyer. It might not go very well for you. Number 5, maybe you're buying a new home. So if you are focused only on buying newly built construction, you likely could work the arrangement out directly with the builder. However, the builder is the seller and comes with a team of lawyers who represent only the builder. It would be wise, if you're not using a buyer's agent, which costs you $0, to hire your own lawyer to review the possible risks should you not fulfill your end of the deal. On the next part of my video, I'll share 4 reasons why, for most buyers, buying a home without a realtor is a bad idea. And if you stay tuned to the end, I'll share more videos that I think you'll really like. Unless you're ready to handle the many full-time demands of purchasing a home, you might have trouble navigating the many legal requirements and the timeline. It might make your transaction run way more smoother by hiring a buyer's agent. Let's look at 4 reasons to consider whether going alone is worth it. Number 1, the home buying process can be very time-consuming. You might think it's easy enough to find homes online without the help of an agent, and honestly, it is easy and fun to look at all the possibilities. Oh, my dream home. But an agent will lead the search quickly, finding available homes that pop up during the day, maybe while you're working, and helping you discern which ones are the best ones to look at, but most importantly, what not to look at. The search can become all-consuming if you're in a hot market especially. You'll need to act within days, if not hours. And in scheduling all the home visits, conducting price negotiations, and navigating all 21 pages of just the purchase contract, it could seem like you're working another full-time job. Number 2. You'll have limited access to listings. Agents have many tools at their disposal when looking for homes, including access to the Multiple Listing Service, the MLS, which provides a comprehensive view of all homes available in a particular area. And in the back area, it contains additional notes only available to the agent and not the public of more important information like the seller's motivated, or we just repaired the structural defect in the basement. Although you can find many of those homes using online search tools through, for example, Zillow or Trulia, there are still off-market listings that only a real estate agent might know about. Number 3, it may be difficult to understand the market. You might be looking for a home in a town you even grew up in and lived in for many years, where your knowledge, yes, it can be a very valuable asset, but real estate agents who specialize in a particular area might have more expertise than you do, especially if you start looking at homes in communities and neighborhoods where you are less familiar. They'll know from school districts to nearby amenities. Real estate agents are often local experts and are well positioned to help you figure out if a home or a neighborhood really matches your specific criteria. And number 4, the home buying process, it's always been confusing. Buying a home is not as straightforward as, say, purchasing a vehicle. Buyers and sellers must follow state and local regulations, and buyers need to make sure they're not missing any major details that really could cost money after the closing. And purchase contracts should include precise wording when it comes to contingencies that address whether you can withdraw from a purchase contract if certain problems turn up, for example, during a home inspection, and whether you can maybe move the closing back if you have problems selling your current house. And these are only a few examples. If you're sure you want to purchase a home without a buyer's agent, then follow these 6 steps. And I'll leave a link below in the description box so that you can download this checklist. Get pre-approved, not just qualified for a loan. Seriously, before you even start looking. If you want to be a serious buyer for a home, you need to lock down your finances ahead of time so that the sellers know you're ready to buy and can make an offer right now. Pre-approval just involves a little bit more paperwork up front, but it is the strongest assurance to a buyer that you can get from a lender that you're ready for a mortgage. And in this market, it typically is expected, especially if a seller is being represented by a listing agent. Number 2, hire a real estate attorney. Unless you have extensive background in real estate purchases, you are likely to be way overwhelmed. A real estate attorney can review all these documents and offer advice on the contracts to make sure you're not making the wrong moves. Starting with the purchase contract, through all of the disclosures, they'll review objection notices, due diligence documents, and more. Number 3, conduct your own research. Even if you're buying a home from a family member or a newly built construction home from a builder, you need to review the sales prices for other similar homes that have sold in the area to make sure you're getting the best deal. And most importantly, to feel reassured that it will appraise at the list price. If you're casting a wider net, you could just focus on for sale by owner homes that might not want to involve a real estate agent. Number 4, make an offer. You'll need to learn how real estate agents typically put together an offer with letters in the purchase contract in your state and in your region. And if the seller is working with an agent, you could ask the seller if they'd be willing to give you a discounted price, since the seller won't have to pay a commission to a buyer's agent. Number 5, inspect and negotiate as soon as you have a deal on the purchase contract. Schedule a home inspection. Pay close attention to the issues of the home. An inspector will give you a clear and concise report with pictures. After the inspection, you or your lawyer will need to negotiate with the seller on what needs to be fixed before closing. Number 6, finalize the purchase, the last step. Some states require that you have legal representation at closing, but you know what? It's a good idea even if it's not the law in your state. A lawyer can review each document with you at closing just to make sure you understand what you're signing. Buying a home without a buyer's agent is certainly possible. It might even be preferable in certain situations, but there are unusual scenarios that won't apply to most would-be home buyers. For most people who are contemplating making a move like this and what could be the most expensive purchase of their life, it's probably the best thing to rely on an expert. Well, I hope you got some good tips to consider as you plan your move here. And there are 2 more videos that you might want to watch. And oh, don't forget to check out more videos below in the description box. And thanks for watching.